I do want to talk about what you could expect as far as the process of when one of our technicians comes to your house and you may have a broken spring or need springs replaced. So we are going to evaluate. If you don't have a broken spring, we try to do our best to calculate what kind of life may be left in your springs. If it doesn't seem like there's going to be a whole lot of life left in them, we may recommend going ahead and having them replaced so that you don't have a bad day where you're trapped in your garage. So after we give you the options and you pick out the springs that you want and we get started on that process, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll make sure that you stay in safe spaces while we're working on the springs. Us ourselves, when the springs are being mounted and we're winding them up, we make sure that we don't stand in any places that if anything was to come break or fly off, that we're not in the line of any dangerous stuff flying at us. So we typically stand off to the side while we're winding them, or if we're using a winding tool. We also will try to make sure the customer is not standing in that sort of dangerous zone. So if they ever ask you to step off to the side, or if you want maybe even in the house, it's really for your own safety. They really do try to look out for you. Also, when we're working in the garage area, we don't want you tripping on any of our tools or any of the parts. So, giving our technician plenty of space to do his job without worrying about you tripping or something coming flying at you. It doesn't happen often, but it's not zero. So we do have stuff sometimes come apart either while we're taking apart old ones or putting together new ones. So we definitely want to hit on that safety. But also you'll notice, he'll have a system of how he's taking it apart and how he's putting it together. It's a routine job. We do them, several times a day, every day. When they're winding up a spring, they may be counting because they have to count the revolutions. They do their best to accommodate a customer asking questions and stuff like that. But if they pause and don't talk to you while they're winding, it's because they're trying not to lose count. Some of the guys are really good at counting and talking, and some of them aren't. So don't be offended if they're in the middle of winding and they don't respond, like they don't hear you. They might find a stopping point to wait to answer your question. But that is something you'll notice. They also, once they get the springs on and wound up, they will check the door by hand. They may check it with a scale as well. We have parameters that the door has to function to be considered well balanced, and they may make a few adjustments on those springs. So even when they wind them up, they may take a little off or add a little just to make it finely tuned. We also sometimes will leave them a little bit what we call hot. We will overwind them just a little bit because after about 6 months of use, those springs will relax about a quarter or half turn. So we're kind of anticipating that. So it may be a little bit on the wants to come up a little faster than we want, but we know a few months or a few cycles of use, it'll mellow out a bit and be in that sweet spot that we're really aiming for. So and he should explain that whenever he, is doing the work or afterwards. He'll explain door balanced out great. You're in good shape at the end of the service call.